Hello everyone, welcome back. It's now round 3 of Swiss here at the I was going to say London Reading Regionals. No, the Reading Regionals. We've got Built to Last against Sable here. Let's just put one of those up. Now, rumour has it this is a Built to Blast.
I believe so. Unless there's been sudden deck changes, then given that I know who that is, I think she's probably going to be on some sort of Built to Blast. Might not be the exact list that Andrew printed made a while back, but it's something like that.
And then
Sable.
Yes, and then Sable.
I think that's a deep dive Sable.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it will be on like 2 deep dives.
Yeah.
Because I think she said that she doesn't like 3.
Okay.
And we shall.
Yes, Sobek, it's just we're muting it when we're on break so that you don't hear random people talking about how bad the stream was next to the stream table. I am not too familiar with Built to Blast. So Built to Blast is a kill deck?
It's a rush deck, but if you try and match pace with it, it will kill you for going too fast.
Just with punitive? Or
just with end of the line mostly.
Oh, okay, cool.
So your big threats here are Public Trail.
Yeah.
That might be off though, I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
We've got install advance, very standard turn.
Yeah, we're creating a remote. Good for Sable though.
Yep, definitely.
Oh. Okay, I can see the dice is on
yes.
the top side, yeah. Swift turn 1.
Thank you very much, Sobek. It's great to be along streaming and seeing some great players. And when we get to the top cut, there are some very talented players in this room, and I'm very excited to see what they're bringing. Especially, I know some players are bringing decks that I did not expect them to bring, but they have come along with them. So
I don't know.
Hopefully they make it to the cut, and we'll see what happens.
Being surprised.
Okay, so we've already got a Kurapira, we've got a Chesver, which is going to be very nice to have around. We have our Swift down. Is that
looks like Bones?
Yeah. And then we've also got Daily Cast and an Inside Job, so we can go touch that card.
Oh, we are using it.
Okay. I mean, if it's a Charlotte, we're very happy to just get rid of it.
Good to get rid of
Charlotte. And if it's an Agenda, we're very happy too. So
we're thinking about rezzing anyway? No.
Like an advanced card there.
Yeah.
We just always are just very happy. Yeah, there it is.
It's Charlotte, and she's gone.
Yeah.
Gain some money.
Now, how many Charlottes? Charlotte, let's have a look. I have a copy right in front of me here. It's 2 influence. Are we expecting 3 surely in this kind of deck?
It's so good in Built to Last. I'd want to put 3 in.
So what? 3 Charlottes and then 3 Spin Doctors, probably.
And then 3 Public Trail, or 2 Public Trail and an Oppo. It's hard to know exactly how you do.
Maybe some room for a couple of Meston Chespos as well.
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's also. Although, if you're already going to be advancing your Charlotte.
Once you're on Built to Last, it's so difficult to work out what your influence is.
Yeah. So. Again, install in. I missed the first click there, but we have the Daily Cast down. That's going to give us loads of credits over a few turns.
Yep. We've got lots of ice. We're probably icing a central here, or we might. Yep.
Okay, that's what the third click was.
Yeah.
Protect HQ, which makes sense because
dangerous to leave it open against Prim.
Yeah, we would expect this kind of deck to play Doof, right?
Yeah,
why would you not? It's one of the best economy cards in the game.
Yeah. Click for a swing of 10.
Yeah, and for a runner like Sable who wants to run a lot because their ability says you should run every turn.
Yeah, especially when you've got a Swift on the table and it's not even a double anymore.
That's true.
Running archives just to run archives?
Seems so. What is that new card we've drawn there? I can't quite see it tucked away in the corner there.
I don't know.
But we have got another Inside Job as well. I'm assuming this deck is pretty much just
oh, it's a mutual favour. That might be where we. That explains why we made our run.
Yes. And what are we looking for here? Probably Amakua?
I would guess so. With no face-up ice, so you can't really make any guesses. I'd just put a turtle on the table and feel happy about it. There it is.
There it is.
Now you've got to be feeling some pressure to ice up centrals.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Built to Last is definitely going to have enough ice in it to be able to do that comfortably.
If there's one thing Wayland has, it's ice that ends the run.
Yeah. And the good thing there also with Armakua though is, it's hard for them to double ice all of these things. And once you find one, with Sable, you're able to get so much value on a run on a certain server that if you just have a barrier breaker and turtle, then you just use the barrier breaker just to get your turtle up to strength, and then you're good.
Just getting him once can be enough for Sable.
Yeah. And then we have another Charlotte already, so very fortunately drawn into 2 Charlottes very early on in this game.
I mean, they both look to be getting fairly good draws.
Now, are we going to expect to see Ice R&D, Ice Archives, Advanced Charlotte?
I always want to do that when I see a turtle on the table, but it's hard to know.
I guess the only reason not to would be if the ice in front of Charlotte is only 1 strength. But maybe you just have to... Okay, no, we're
looks
protecting.
Like we're slightly scared of losing that, and we're just icing one of them and saying, if you get archives, it's not that bad.
Yeah. But this does give Sable a chance to...
really just farm counters.
And probably a good window for it as well, because then they're not going to be using that Charlotte the next turn.
Yeah. Oh, she's only on like 2 credits though, that's difficult.
That's, There's a Nuka, that's going to help with drawing more cards later, but how do we make opportunity of this window? Maybe we don't. I guess we're hoping for a Carpe Diem.
Yeah, like Sable can be on backstitching, which can get you into your central to just get those turtle counters, but feels like you're losing an opportunity to just run.
We might just have to click for a credit here, because it looks like we haven't found anything that we can do with 1 credit.
You know what I think we were doing here? I think we were looking for a Carpe Diem.
Yeah.
And just sometimes you don't find it. We do make the run just because it's free.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
But 1 credit and a lot of cards. Just put a Chevrolet on the table.
Unlikely to be too relevant in this matchup, I would imagine. I mean Messner Chesvo is there.
Messner Chesvo exists. Afshar's often in Wayland.
Yeah.
But
and is a server that you're generally a little bit more favoured towards running towards.
I suppose if you saw a triple advance card, you don't want to let a Horton fire.
Yeah. So there pops the Charlotte again, just printing money.
Yeah, just
the Charlotte. Like if you let a Charlotte run for 4 turns, like it's you
can Build to Last. It's click for 5 and a card draw.
Yeah.
Just now you've got to be able to turn that money into a win, which hopefully we're doing with some big ice here.
I guess alongside that though, it's like how much do you balance trying to take down the turtle?
Yeah.
Like I wonder, probably it's not the line, but there could be a line of like double advance the Charlotte and just put something on archives so that next turn you can purge and still get 2 turns of Charlotte value.
Yeah. Looks like we're advancing that card.
Yep.
Don't think I saw what it was, and advancing Charlotte as well.
I'm going to say it was Horton or Mazalus, one of those 2.
Probably Horton then, because Mazalus is rotated.
Oh, then that will be the one.
But yeah, getting that up to strength is good when there's a turtle, because then it's got that AI hate.
So yeah, what are you thinking of the odds for each side from this position? I feel like it's definitely swinging over to the Corp's favour with 2 Charlottes coming up.
If the Charlotte just keeps ticking, then it's just so difficult to hurt them.
Yeah. I guess Pinhole is something we would expect to see in Sable. That also would have been a great thing to find as that last card there.
Yeah.
A Pinhole run on archives to go take down the Charlotte.
Yeah.
Which again might be doing what we're doing here.
Ooh, lots of money, which will help here.
Yeah. Is that a Doof and a Carpe Diem?
I think it's a Bravado.
Okay.
I think I recognise that alt art.
I mean, the number of credits the Corp is on now, that they can res everything.
Yep.
And it's only going to get worse. Now they just need to get credits on top of resing everything to be able to advance their agendas and so on.
Yep. So we're just going to give a quick run and see what we get here. So
face check into R&D, see what happens.
yeah. Do we take the run? What's the worst that it could be? I guess a stab cut.
Yeah, program trashing is particularly awful for Criminal because they generally have no recursion, especially if you're on 2 or 3 deep dives. Like, you've not got much influence.
You can't really afford it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It does feel like the risk is too great here.
Yeah.
And I feel like most Wayland decks, Staff Crew is just so incredible in how it can
I think you
ruin
could just
some
include
decks.
one and like...
Yeah, it's like you always want to have one.
Yeah.
You even if it's like, okay, I put it innermost on a server, that might be where it is, but if it happens to be...
It will still ruin someone's deck.
Yeah. Particularly against any criminals.
Yes. We still don't have, presumably, Carmen.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like we've had a very wonky draw of...
Time you to come be a gem.
Well,
Yeah, afraid I've got to go.
That's all right. We now drop down to one commentator for the rest. The difficulty here is, I think, our criminal player here she's just not found. She's not found money, and that's really forcing her to play awkwardly, like installing this Kurapira when she has no intention of really running and using it, losing all the surprise factor of playing it from hand. And meanwhile, this Charlotte Cassador just keeps ticking up. So what do we got in hand? It looks like, is that a hammer there maybe? Or an anvil? One of those two. And then there is a gens in hand, but both of those are so well protected as it stands. With the runner still on low credits, very, very free to just let this Charlotte tick away. And a new remote on the side there, I would expect that to be a Spin Doctor, but we'll find out shortly. And just again continuing to draw cards, which hopefully are ice, to build up these servers to a point where there's just going to be no way through for the criminal player here. It will just be way too expensive to run any of these servers, especially when you start adding in tech like Biovolt would be a great card here just to be able to shut off one of these, shut off a run after they've made it all the way through. We're going to have border control because it's a Wayland card. So these servers are going to get very, very expensive indeed, and they're going to cost next to nothing for the corporation to be able to res. Spending some time thinking on Sable side. Oh no, this is a run on HQ, I believe. Is it a run on? No, I don't think it is a run on HQ. I think we were just checking the ice that's there so that we can have a little bit in mind for what we should do later if they do decide to run it. So the Clartec firing, that gives us a falsified credentials, which is good for getting our turtle strength up and giving us some more money. I imagine we're going to see that naming asset on that face down card over there. It is in fact an asset, it is a Spin Doctor. Now, hopefully the corporation recognises that it will be a very good idea to res that immediately, because otherwise you might see a back-to-back falsified. Now, are they going to remember that they did expose a card? Because that is a counter. Yes, there we go. So we do get that turtle counter for the expose. Just a very nice card. If you're playing criminal already and the falsified credentials is no influence for you, then it's a great way to be able to bounce back your turtle from a purge, which is something that we might see from the corporation coming soon. So are we going to run our mark here? Yes, yeah, I was very confused for a second there. So working out whether to, I believe, making a run here. Corporation just having a look at what we've got. I believe it was a Mazalus No, sorry, a Horton. That does look like a Horton. And then on the inside, let's bring up Horton, because I do not remember all the text on that. And then on the inside, I'm imagining we have an Afshar. But this is definitely going to become more annoying later. We get 3 counters. They cannot break subroutines on this ice using AI programs, which means then they'll be forced to use Shibboleth. Which Shibboleth, breaking a 4 strength, it will be 5 to break a single subroutine on Horton. So instead that will be 6 credits to break a Horton with Shibboleth if it gets to 3 advancements. And then there is an Afshar on the inside. But we pay our way through, spending an awful lot of credits to get through to there. And then we get our access. Is it the agenda? It's not, it's a border control. It's good to know that they have it in hand, because then you know that that might be one of the next cards coming down, although when you see it, you're just going to feel bad knowing that everything else you paid past it, you're probably going to have to pay it all again. So a very difficult position. We do get an Armakua counter, we did get a click back, we did force the Corp to res, but to what effect really? Forcing the Corp to res ice is important, but only on the basis that it costs them and that they have less credits. So it's not looking good for the runner right now. That Charlotte Cassador just being allowed to just tick away continuously. So we're bravadoing. I wonder if we haven't, we've already triggered Swift, so I don't think we'll have enough clicks to finish with a deep dive here. So that looks like now it's either hammer or anvil. I'm not too sure on. That is a hammer. So one of these, 2 of these are going to fire. So it looks like we're going to be losing a resource or a piece of hardware and taking a tag here, which is going to be a problem, because if you're planning to float that tag, that means you might just die to an end of the line, which in this deck we expect that there might be some end of the lines in there. Oh yes, sorry, the corporation gets to choose what gets trust, and of course they choose Swift. Then we take our credits from Bravado, because we do manage to get through. It doesn't stop the run, so you are successful in getting through. And then we clear the tag as last. So we're forcing the Corp to res, but now they're down to, well, they're back to 16 credits, which they can just res anything here, which is going to be very difficult. There is an opera in hand, which is going to further put economic pressure on the runner, and now we have the end of the line as well to support it. Is this the time to put something over the Charlotte, or to or is it the time to purge? It's difficult to say. It does feel like a purge is needed, because if you let that Armakua run around, it can now go and trash whatever's in with that Charlotte. Alternatively, you can just put another piece of ice outside and hope that the runner can't quite get the funds together to trash the Charlotte. So we put an upgrade on archives. Oh no, sorry, that's a discard. So then we have an R&D mark this time. Oh yeah, business as usual. That's a good shout. It lets you. Does it let you purge? Yeah. A very nice card to be able to just clear some counters away, and it's infection. So I do wonder if there might be some Mavarus in this deck, because Mavarus is just great in almost every deck, specifically for this reason. But yeah, so the Corp did decide to purge here for the 3 clicks in order to lock the turtle out. Now the turtle can run through archives, but in the process will get trashed. So doesn't really solve that problem. R&D, there's a piece of ice, they can certainly res it. There is a Spin Doctor, so one option is to run the Spectron to force it. But it's very possible that the discarded card there is an agenda, just on the thought that, hey, we can take our time as Wayland. If we build up a big enough kind of glacier state, then there's no way they're going to be getting through. We've seen backstitching come down here. Let's bring that one up. Backstitching, when your turn begins, identify your mark. It will already be triggered from Sable. Whenever you encounter a piece of ice during a run on your mark, you may trash this to bypass that ice. This is good. It will give a free access through to R&D, which will also get Armakua, hopefully, to 1 strength. And then we have a tree line. 4 strength barrier. Certainly annoying enough for Kurapira to deal with. It's going to be 3 to boost and then 1 to break the end of the run subroutine. But that does give us a Kurapira counter, which could help if there are any Pharoses later. And then we see an Aket on the top. Stays where it is, gives us an Armakua counter. Didn't need to use the backstitching, which is nice. But again, very, very strapped for cash as a corporation here. And this Armakua is certainly not going to be the long-term strategy here. Hammer on Archives being good, very possibly. I don't know too much about Hammer and where to put it, but I do remember some advice from Soccer from his Worlds win, whichever one that was, of putting border control on Archives as a way to take down any pinhole threats that come in. That was a very good suggestion, and often that's where you might occasionally just drop a spare Anansi, because often if you just want to lock them out against Armakua, then just putting anything sharp on Archives, you can not only leave it there for a good amount of time and then eventually purge, but you can get to the point where they then run it and they think, oh well, surely at worst case it's just like an ice wall or something, and then they get to face 6 net damage from an Anansi. So down comes an Aket, which we're going to advance. Now there's a lot of ice in this deck that could take more advancements, but we haven't seen much tech to put more than just 1 advancement through the ability to click for a credit in the first advancement. So I'm not sure what we're looking at as a way to do that, because most of these ice, of course, only come online, like Aket for example, really comes into its true form when it has 3 counters on it, which for Aket, which we've seen on R&D there, is becomes stronger, and also they can only break 1 of it, which is going to fuel even more advancement tokens. So here we're checking backstitching, so possibly we're looking to backstitch through Archives here. The difficulty here is we're putting in a lot of effort here as the runner just to get I mean it's a free click back when we do it, but if we do run Archives with basically just getting a turtle counter, and the problem with that is we're just doing so much for such little rewards. when they're just printing money over there with Charlotte Cassador that there's nothing we can do about. Going to run the Spin Doctor here. Now, from the corporation side, unless you're planning to use the Spin Doctor for something else, probably is worth rezzing and then popping it just to deny them getting a turtle counter for free there. Oh, okay, no. Just leaving them to access it. And knowing that the corporation couldn't afford to trash it, so there's less cost for doing so. But I wonder if that might end up being a mistake later on, although we've just seen... The question is that there is a line here where we public trail end of the line just as tempo. It could certainly mess a runner-up. I don't know if it's a good line, but it could be public trail, end of the line, advance once, which lets us just keep on turtling around. No, okay, so we're going to take the advancement, which is clicking for a credit. Then we're going to pop the Charlotte, which gets us another 3 credits with Charlotte Cassador here. And then we're going to install an Atlas in there and then advance it once, which means we'll be able to overscore that Atlas on a future turn. Atlas, of course, being able to let us go get whatever we want from our deck, which could be going to find a kill piece if we need to, but also could be to go and find perhaps an Audacity to score out another Atlas for the win later on. But we'll have to find a way to get to 5 points first, and we haven't seen any 3-point agendas that I've noted yet. Moving back to the runner side, first going to Nuka to give us some more options for the turn. Again, we're down on 1 credit, which is a really difficult position to bounce back from. There is a cupulation, which will help us with some HQ pressure later on. And we got a lot of interesting tricks and tools in this Sable list, but unfortunately just a very difficult matchup for any... Oh, okay. We are going for just the counter here and the money. I think we do need that certainty of money. There was an option to choose the thing in the server and guess that it's an agenda, but knowing that it could be a Bible upgrade, very unlikely to be a Charlotte Cassador, because one was just trashed in order to put this card in. And we have a HQ mark here. Are we going to make a runner and get some use out of it? We do have 3 counters, which is almost what we need to be able to actually make a run there. We do also have back stitching, which isn't unique, so there is the option to, install 2 back stitching and just go. Oh, we might be doing it. We're probably just using 1 on the outside because we do have the strength of the Afshar there with our Amakua powered up. But again, we'll be losing 2 credits as part of Afshar firing, which is an incredibly punishing piece of ice. Although it's interesting that we haven't got Winchester in here instead, because Winchester can also be incredibly expensive for many runners to deal with. I believe that's discard for end of turn. Not quite sure what that card was. So, drawing for turn on the corporation side. Probably looking just to score out here. putting down 2 advancements, and then possibly deciding whether to put one more in. That might have been the corner of a CityWorks project that I saw there. Cool, so we're breaking our money down into 5 just so we can place that last advancement. Yeah. And now scoring out that Alice, which will have a counter on it. So the mark this turn is archives. That's pretty helpful. It gives us I'm not sure how much we want to save these backstitchings for that future purge, because right now we might see just a court purge next turn, just to reset all the progress that the runner's made. But maybe that's how we need these backstitchings, is we need a way to get into a server. So if the run is archives, we've seen a pinhole there, that's going to help a lot. Pinhole, Bravado, Dirty Laundry, and a Carmen. So putting the Dirty Laundry to the bottom, it looks like. That's definitely going to help a lot. We found our Carmen now, so we can effectively stop relying on the Amakua and start relying on other breakers instead. Let me just remind myself, Hammer is a Sentry, I believe. Not that Hammer. This Hammer. That is a Sentry, so Carmen is going to help there. We just want to make a successful run first, which we know that we can probably just go touch that Spin Doctor and it might stay around. Although we wouldn't want to Dirty Laundry into it. The other thing we have to worry about is we are going to be over Mew if we put down Cupulation and Carmen. So here comes Cupulation. And then we're going to Bravado into archives here. Using a backstitching to bypass through the Hammer, because otherwise we're going to be losing, lots of things and taking a tag. I guess we're hoping to force the Spin Doctor's pop here, but if there's nothing in there, then there's no reason for the corporation to think about it, yeah? So we see a too big to fail, a Oppo research, which is cupulated. I did not know you could do that from archives, so we're all learning something new today. Which is good, prevents the Spin Doctor from spinning it back. Just counting Mew at 5 Mew, which means that Carmen that wants to be installed, perhaps struggling a bit here as she's realised she kind of has to pop this copulation immediately, or kind of just overwrite this Amakua, which unfortunately doing so is taking away from the corp. You're kind of giving them 3 clicks back, because they would have to purge at some point, knowing that you can't just leave an Amakua to run around with 5 counters on it when it gets to 5. I'm not sure why we've ended up with 3 credits on the Chesva here, but that has happened. Okay, maybe a bit of a mix up here with some things moving around. Okay, so we're using the Chesva to break with Amakua, then we're paying 1 to break on Afshar, and then we lose 2 credits because Afshar has to fire, so we pay 1 and lose 2. And then we can use Cupulation, which costs 1 to fire, so we give that back. We also trigger a successful run, although that doesn't matter at this point. If this is the last click, then unfortunately we're not going to be able to install that Carmen this turn, but I guess we don't mind too much, because Yeah, no, we definitely do mind. See two cards here, end of the line, and border control. Oh, and a third card, which is a transport monopoly. There we go. There was a time call just now. Not sure how long it was for, but we have to be careful because things will be ending soon. Transport monopoly stops runs being successful. That is pretty impressive and pretty good. Although it is a 2-4, which is certainly a bit more of a challenge to score it, and I do wonder if the text is the most useful. Here comes down a CityWorks project with 2 advancements. Maybe it's like this. There we go. I mean, that CityWorks is reasonably untouchable here, although with a turtle with 4 counters, because we didn't get a counter when we ran HQ last time because we did steal an agenda, so we did not get a counter there. Inside job's definitely going to be helpful. However, how confident can you feel about getting these accesses? Yeah, there is deep dive in here. Oh yes, yeah, transport monopoly is deep dive tech. Yes, I could see that being a possibility. Although I feel like the worry of deep dive has definitely diminished with the changes to trick shot and it being so prevalent in lat decks. But yes, it does definitely help you against a bunch of different things. You can just choose whenever you need to be. I guess the downside to transport monopoly is if you score 2 of them, the chance of you using all 4 counters is, in particularly meaningful ways, is reasonably unlikely. Although being able to turn off a dirty laundry where they pay 2 for the run might just be worth it. Like they pay 2. They pay 2 to make a run. That sounds awful. That sounds like a lockdown. So we're bravadoing into HQ here. I believe this is so we can get a 5th counter, so we can feel confident about getting into that server with the CityWorks. Because things we have to watch out for, there's obviously Archer, but we're very unlikely to see an Archer here. But then the real problem here is if the runner runs this server, they're going to find themselves in a fork, which is if they do go and steal that CityWorks, with 2 minutes left on the round now, they're going to have next to no cards in hand, and then we're just going to see a public trail end of the line just to finish it all off. But maybe, just maybe, there is a line through here that the runner can make it happen. And with an Atlas counter there on the table as well, we're going to falsify it into the Spin Doctor again. And that will be the last click. So just letting this CityWorks get scored, which with 2 minutes on the round, there's no reason not to. Gets a lot closer to victory, and also with the Atlas counter means that you can go pull the agenda if you need to. That is a naked remote, which has a Spin Doctor in it, which has been it's been falsified 3 times now with a choice not to res it. Now, given it does actually do something when you res it, unlike Rashida, but it's been sticking there and giving opportunities for the turtle to get counters and the runner to get money. Which may be the mistake here, is maybe we should have just taken 2 cards earlier on, even if we might just have to pitch them, in order to turn off that income engine for the runner. So the runner really hoping to find an agenda here, but it's unlikely that they're going to find another CityWorks in hand. It's much more likely they're going to find one for the top of the deck at this point. Inside job, it looks like we're trying to cash in on all of these clicks now. Time of the round has been called, which means this has to be a deep dive turn, and we have to find 2 2-point agendas or better in order to secure a win here. I think it's possible. Unfortunately, it's on stream, and everyone knows Deep Dive is the most entertaining card to watch in the game. So we saw something on top. I believe that was in the line. Then we're going to inside job into Archives, because at this point that card means absolutely nothing. We get another counter, and then with, is that 3 clicks? Oh, are we double deep diving? Oh my goodness. So here we go. Here's the first deep dive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 3 points. 6, 8. So we can take that 3-pointer. That's very good to have. And then they all get shuffled back. And then we have another deep dive in which we can access up to 2 cards, but we only need to access 1. So now we're just hoping in the top 8 that there is something we need. Pretty sure we haven't seen 3 deep dives in hand, but technically there is a line where you could triple deep dive here. 3, there we go, that's the game. Very good game indeed. I thought for a long time that the criminal was not going to make it through there, but that double deep dive turn is such a miraculous effort at the end there to finish that. Well, there we have it for round 3. We now go on to lunch, so thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys back at an amount of time which is here.